I returned home after a long night shift, only to discover my husband in bed with his secretary. Amidst the shouting and pandemonium, I fled like a woman possessed. Derek came hot on my heels. We found ourselves at the river, engaged in a heated argument. Somehow, we both tumbled into the water. He nearly drowned while trying to save me, and the doctors claimed that the lack of oxygen had inflicted severe brain damage. When he regained consciousness, he was barely functional. His memory was gone, and he couldn't do anything on his own. He trailed after me like a lost little kid. Wait, see, don't leave me. I'm frightened, he'd plead. Looking at that forlorn, broken-down man, I clenched my teeth and held our family together. And the secretary? She disappeared without a trace. 6 years flew by. Derek gradually seemed to be on the mend. He was tender with me, attentive, and loving. I even became pregnant with our second child. Then, the family dinner arrived. Derek downed 2 glasses of whiskey in quick succession and suddenly slammed his hand on the table, his face contorted with vexation. Say, my oldest son is already in 1st grade, and I haven't been to a single parent-teacher meeting. I thought his brain was malfunctioning again. My sister-in-law Vanessa rushed to cover his mouth, but he pushed her away and let out a cold, mocking laugh. I thanks. You really thought the water addled my brain? Chloe gave me a son. I haven't forgotten about him for a single day. Brain damaged. I stared at Derek in utter disbelief. Sid roughed off his tie, the Hermes tie I'd bought him just yesterday, and tossed it carelessly onto the floor. You think pretending to be an imbecile for 6 years was a walk in the park? He leaned back in his chair, his eyes brimming with disdain. If I hadn't feigned idiocy, would you have willingly cleaned up all the mess at home? Would you have worked yourself to the bone making money and paying off debts? Rage coursed through my body, making me tremble. 6 years ago, he'd plunged into the water to save me. The doctor said he might never wake up. Sight endured everyone's sneers, staying by his bedside around the clock. When he finally awoke, his mental state was that of a 3-year-old. Sight swallowed my revulsion, kicked out Chloe the secretary I'd caught in bed with him, and took care of him as if he were my own child while also taking over his company, which was teetering on the edge of bankruptcy. For 6 long years, I never had a full night's rest. I single-handedly took that company public, and now he was telling me it was all an elaborate ruse. Suddenly, the private dining room door burst open. The woman in a Chanel suit strode in, leading a little boy by the hand. Her makeup was immaculate. It was Chloe, the one who had vanished without a trace 6 years ago. It's Daddy. The boy Chloe's grasped and hurled himself into Derek's arms. Derek scooped him up and planted a big kiss on his cheek. There's my good lad. Daddy missed you something fierce. Who moments ago had been too mortified to even glance my way, broke into a broad smile. Oh, my precious grandson. Come let grandma have a cuddle. She beamed, pushing past me to get closer to Derek, cooing over the boy as if he were the most precious treasure on earth. Vanessa hurried over as well, seizing Chloe's hand with over-the-top warmth. Chloe, you're finally here. Was the traffic terrible? Are you hungry? I watched this happy little quartet with cold, emotionless eyes. So, they'd all been in on it. Fadaz was the only one, like a fool performing on a stage kept in the dark for a full 6 years. Margaret, Vanessa, what on earth is going on? I forced down the nausea roiling in my stomach and fixed my gaze on Margaret. Her eyes flitted away for a split second before she puffed out her chest, feigning indignation. What's going on, Audrey? You're about to be a mother again. How can you be so small-minded? Derek nearly lost his life saving yours. Chloe has been raising an Ashford heir all alone for 6 years, going through so much hardship. What's wrong with us showering our grandson with a little love? I laughed bitterly and pointed at Chloe's designer attire. Hardship? If she's endured so much hardship, how can she afford an outfit worth over $100,000? But what will Audrey do now that she's finally uncovered this elaborate deception? How far will Derek and his family go to keep their secrets? And what more lies are yet to be unearthed?